Come here, let me take your teeth out your mouth and put them in my mouth. So we all asked this question about George Washington. Was this true? So I had no idea about this at all until one day I was walking downtown and I saw a statue of George Washington. So I just wanted to kind of take a picture so I could talk more about him in a future history segment of mine. And the person I was with at the time said you should not even look at him because he's not a man to be admired, respected, because he actually used to take the teeth out of his enslaved people's mouth. So I couldn't believe it at the moment. So I said, well, let me go do some research and see what's going on with that and to see if I can find out what the truth is. So today we're going to talk about, is that a myth or is it truth? Did George Washington actually take the teeth out of his enslaved people's mouth and use for his own? Stay tuned. So, three critical things about George Washington. One, he was the first president of the United States of America. So, he served between April 30th, 1789, and he finished his term on March 4th, 1797. Next, he was a military officer, which a lot of people don't know that. So, he actually served as a senior officer of the United States Army. Next, he was a commander in chief of the Continental Army. So that was his military career. Next, he was a chancellor of the College of William and Mary. So he continued, that was his third big endeavor and big achievement. So he was the president, he served in the military, and he was a chancellor. So to help answer our big question, is it a myth or is it true? Did George Washington actually take the teeth from his enslaved people? We need to first understand George Washington when it comes down to slavery and enslaved people. So George Washington owned a property, big home, big property called in Mount Vernon, we're called Mount Vernon. And he had in his lifetime access to over 500 enslaved people. Now, he received those enslaved people through inheritance, through marriage. So when he married his wife, he received some then, or he also rented some enslaved people as well. But one thing we do know is he definitely had access to teeth. So we need to now understand if one, he took the teeth, like took them and snatched them out of their mouth when he needed some, or if he actually, maybe it was a barter system or exchange for something, exchange for some kind of goods. Like maybe they had a teeth that they say, hey, you can take it out of my mouth, but can we exchange it from, for some goods or some monetary gain? So keep watching and we will see if we can answer that question. So another tidbit to add before we answer our question, people thought George Washington's teeth were wooden. So they thought that he had made his dentures out of wooden teeth. Another thing about George Washington, he had dental issues all his life that continued to be worse and worse, which called for him to have dentures. So at first people thought he had wooden dentures, but his dentist who worked for him through majority of his adult life anyway, John Greenwood said, no, those aren't wooden teeth. They actually belong to human beings. So they come from enslaved people and also white ivory from elephants and from walruses. So that's an interesting tidbit to help us kind of evaluate and answer our question. So right now it's not looking too good for Washington because one, he had some teeth from some enslaved people. So we don't know, like, is it realistic to think that he actually purchased the teeth from them? Or is it more realistic to think that he actually took the teeth from them? So let's check it out. Let's see what's going on. Looks like we might have a little proof here, you all. So, this is the legend from George Washington. I know it's hard to read, but basically it states that he did pay the enslaved people for teeth he received. So, he's said to have paid £6 and 2 shillings to enslaved people for 9 teeth. And those 9 teeth probably went in one of those 4 implant that contained the between the enslaved people's teeth and also the elephant and walrus ivory. So this document here is saying that he actually paid for the teeth. I want to know your thoughts. So I really do want to know what you think about this topic and what are your thoughts? Do you think that he did in fact pay for the teeth as the document states? Or do you think we kind of err on the side of caution with that because we don't have any other documentation to prove the other part did happen? Unfortunately, no other documents kind of lives to this day to say if he actually did go around taking teeth from enslaved people. So we have to kind of go with that to say, yeah, we have that proof. So we guess we got to say it's a myth that he actually took the teeth, but it's true that he actually had the teeth of enslaved people in his mouth in form of dentures. But I would never put anything past anybody, especially back then. We all know that unfortunately the enslaved people had no way to really document, and sometimes if they did, those documents it had a hard time living on, or maybe they were too scared to say, hey, this happened, so they never actually documented the fact that it did happen. We just have to go with the documents here. So I would say that this is definitely a myth for right now, but please tell me what you think. Do you think that it's truly a myth and that he didn't take the teeth un- involuntarily, or do you think he actually did pay for the enslaved people's teeth as the paper shows that he actually did? I just want to know because I'm kind of like, I see that paper, so maybe he did, but I also know that so much happened back then that we we don't have a way to capture some of the things that happened because, like I said, they were either no form of a way for the enslaved people to document things. They may have got the documents that they did document may have gotten lost. We just don't know. So I do want to really, think about that, and please share your comments. And this is in no way to bash anybody, to bash George Washington, because I do, like I said at the beginning, he was the first president of the United States of America. He served in the military. He did good for the education system. So this is no formal way of bashing him. But I want to know if that's true. Like, did he do the evil act of actually taking teeth from his enslaved people's mouth? I want to know if he actually did that. And I'll still dig and dig, but I may be just digging forever because I doubt there's any kind of real documentation out there. And unfortunately, the people that were there at the time, everybody's long gone. So there's no way to really check. But I want to thank you so much for joining in and just watching this video with me. And yeah, if you do like videos like this, I want to try to do definitely more like this, or just more on different topics. So I'll talk about different things. I'll even kind of go back on George Washington another time and talk about more of his life and how he contributed to our society and to America. So definitely, if you enjoy videos like this, or if you want to enjoy more videos like this, I also want to see more history videos. Please don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. Also, definitely think about liking this video if you did enjoy this, and just come along for the ride because I'm just starting out and figuring out some things, but I love history, so I'm definitely all about history and all about talk about history, especially those the truths or the untruths that we don't normally see, we don't normally talk about, or they're not everything's not in the book. So you sometimes you have to go kind of dig and find out a few things that you don't see in the everyday book. So I definitely want to continue to do that and check out my videos I have done thus far. I love all things history. So yeah, definitely check out my channel, and thank you again for watching. Thank you.